right, sixth graders, happy Tuesday. Once again, I did include a picture of the Splink notes set up just like this to help you if you want to stop and go back and copy down what I have here so that you're learning better along with me. So this is, of course, an expression. It is, of course, not simplified, but we are learning parts of it today, so this helps me to show you all the different parts. So we have variable terms. So these are terms with a variable, of course. Remember, the variables are the symbols that are put in place of unknowns. So variables would be the x's in this case, but it could be any letter, right, or other symbol. So the variable terms in here, we have 8x, we have 5x. I'm just putting a comma between them, and I'm going left to right in listing them. So I've listed all of my variable terms here. Now, each of my variable terms has a coefficient. A coefficient is the number next to a variable. So it's how many of that variable we have, right? It's what we're multiplying by that variable. So in this case, I'm going to put parentheses over my definition there, just like above. So we have variable terms, right? Everything with the variable from the expression. Our coefficients, there are multiple in this case, right? So within each variable term, the number before that is the coefficient. So we have 8, 5, and 12. Hopefully that doesn't look too challenging. Now, the other thing that we have besides variable terms are constant terms. So these are the opposite of our variable terms. They are terms without a variable. All right? So that would be things that were left behind. So if we took the 8x, we didn't take the 1. That doesn't have a variable, so we can include that. We took the 5x, that was a variable term. We took the 12x, but we did not take the 23. It's just a number, right? Or the 7, it's just a number. So again, I just separated with commas to list what our constant terms were for this expression. So that is what we're going to practice down here. Each line has a different expression. We're going to list the variable terms, the coefficients, and the constant terms. Okay? So our first one, 4x plus 15x. You go ahead and try and do this, but I'll show you with this first one. We have a 4x and a 15x. Our variable terms, remember, were the terms with the variable, and that's all we have. Our coefficients would be 4 and 15. Remember, our coefficients are the number next to the variable. And then we have constant terms, our terms without a variable. Do we have any constant terms here? We don't. So I'm not going to list anything there. Variable terms. Let's start with our expression. 8r plus 7 plus 2r. So our variable terms are the terms of the variable. So we have 8r and 2r. Our coefficients are the number next to the variable. So go ahead and write those down. 8 and 2. And then our constant terms in this case are just 7. Wow, I do not know what that sound was, but that sounded exciting. Something's going on. I don't know. Oh, computers. Okay, so these are getting more and more challenging, but just try your best to think about what each are. So this expression, 6n plus 25 plus 7n plus 4. So first we're writing down our terms with the variable. So we have a 6n and we have a 7n. And then our coefficients, remember, are just these numbers next to the variable, so 6 and 7. And then our constant terms, we have a 25 there, and we have a 4 there. That's it. Alright, I'm going to give you a moment to try this next one. 3a plus 4a plus 17, sorry, I was running out of room, plus a plus 1. So our variable terms are everything with the variable. We have 3a, 4a, and just a. Now our coefficients. Well, 3 and 4 are easy. But what is presumed to be being multiplied by a? We just have just one of these. So we could write it as 1a, but we don't. But we still have to know that our coefficient there is 1. We have to account for it. If we have 3 variable terms, we should have 3 coefficients, right? Now our constant terms, I notice we have a 17 and a 1 that do not have any variables with them. Alright, you try this next one now. 11c plus 4d plus c plus 9d plus 2c. I'm going to repeat that one more time. 11c plus 4d plus c plus 9d plus 2c. Alright, our variable terms. Well, we have 11c, 4d, c, 9d, and 2c. Every term in there was a variable term, right? They all had a variable with them, even though some of the variables were different. Now our coefficients. So for every one of these, we need a coefficient. So here it's 11, then 4. What was it here, guys, if we only have one of them? Just one, right? Then we have 9 and 2. Do we have any constant terms? Any terms without a variable? We didn't here either. Alright, this is the last one. I really want you to try this on your own, so be sure you're pausing the video after you get this written down. I'll repeat it twice. 5x plus 3 plus 2y plus y plus 8x plus 14. You ready for that again? 5x plus 3 plus 2y plus y plus 8x plus 14. So I'm going to write the variables terms first. Pause your video and try this last one on your own. So I would write 5x, I would write 2y, I would write y, and I would write 8x. So for every one of these, I need a coefficient. The first one is 5, then 2, then 1, right? That's a little bit of a tricky one, and 8. Now I need to list everything that I didn't list here, all of our constant terms, things without a variable. So I have a 3, and I have a 14. Alright, hopefully today isn't too tricky once you get the hang of it and see where we're going with our variable terms and coefficients, as well as our constant terms, just the number, right? Alright, have a super Tuesday.